Hello, House of Mouse Reviews here for today's review. Now, I want to apologize. I was planning to originally get this review done a few days earlier, but I caught a bit of a had a bit of a I sort of I lost my voice for a while, and I was going for a bit of a head cold and it affected my voice, and I don't know if you could sort of tell a bit when I was doing the Mario Kart 8 DLC predictions list, but I was sort of going for a bit then when I recorded it, so you might notice a bit of a my voice wasn't up to stands. I'm getting better, and I wouldn't say. Um, and while I'm close to being back to normal, I'm able to talk normal now. So, it's all the reason why I'm back in to do this review now. And um, plus, I'll sort of mention a bit when I hopefully get to Superman. Talk about Superman in a few more days. Like I'd say, hopefully after this, yeah, I'll definitely get it done in the next 4 days. So I'll definitely be certain of that. But going into this, we're going to talk about Ironheart, and I kind of think maybe it was for the best they did have a little bit extra time to think over this because, yeah. First off, I want to say, obviously, the show is pretty divisive. The critics seem to love it a lot, and audiences who've seen it, or fans of Marvel are very mixed. But I will state this: I've not been a fan of the review bombing that this show has gotten. I'm never a big fan of it unless I can feel it's completely justified. Um, to a certain extent, mind you. But going into this, but when talking about what I think, I really don't know what to think. Like, there are parts of me that think the show is pretty good, but other parts of it leave me very, very split, and I still don't know what to think even now. Like, um, as you mentioned, I'm not an expert on Ironheart. I know she's a fairly recent. Riri Williams is a fairly recent character to the Marvel comics, and being an African American a young teenager who idolizes Tony Stark and builds her own Iron Man style suit to be like him, and sort of becomes a bit of a understudy to him in the comics, which obviously can't, it won't happen here, but it is strongly implied. They do show a lot of the connections to the to Iron Man's history in the MCU with this, to its betterment or uh, and not. Um, but going into this, um, um, I wasn't. And going into this show, I liked what they did with Riri Williams in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I thought they handled her pretty well, and I really liked her in that. And I was interested to see what Ryan Coogler will do with this in her own series, like explain a bit of her origin story, but also doing her own thing of becoming what she wants to be. I was interested, but and to a certain extent, I can see where they're going with this show, but because even looking back on Wakanda Forever, it's clear that Riri has her own views on what's right and what's not, and that can obviously lead to conflict. But I felt at the very least, she should at the very least know what greater uh, threats are, and whether she should side with people with well people who are she doesn't know about and doesn't know the boundaries of it, like people with magic or outer space, people from outer space or other dimensions and all that. It's like, yeah, I'll get to that later. There'll be one major spoiler, but jeez, I think everyone knows what that spoiler is. But with that said, I think Riri is a written character in this, and you understand why she's willing to side with the street gang in order to get what she wants to build her new suit, Iron Man suit. And even though they want her to be permanently part of it, she's more half and half, and just you know isn't willing to really wants to commit, even though she slowly realizes that she is becoming more and more like a criminal with everything she does. And how she's distancing herself away from people, whether it be family or friends who want to help her, but because of tragedies, they won't. She won't allow it. And when push comes to shove in the final episode, when her one chance to fully um, that seems to put her back on her life before she eventually went to MIT. Um, she blocks them out and eventually sides with where she wants this with the side she goes with. But she does obviously still care for them, as we see of her decision. With her enemies in this, like the street gang. Nah, I don't know. I didn't really care for them too much. The Hood, or Red Hood, I think that's his uh the main guy's name. The main villain. I don't know, or the Hood actually. I don't really mind. Didn't really think of him too much. Same as Obadiah Stane's son. Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, but I don't know. I think they're doing a bit more like this Sidewinder thing with in Brave New World, where they're hinting of further conflicts with him. Same thing with the Hood, which I can sort of see a bit with her decision at the end, but I'm not really sure what they should do. So, sorry. Yeah, so that's that. Every episode, I wouldn't. I think it was. This is showing honestly a lot of Miss Marvel, where there are parts I really do like, but other parts really annoy me. But the thing is, unlike the Miss Marvel, where there was the first three episodes were the stuff I didn't like, but the final three was what I thought saved the show. It's not the same really here, and yeah, it's pretty inconsistent. Yeah, so with that said, I'd say the show was going okay enough. I didn't really sort of half and half where I thought it was good or not, but for the most part, I thought, all right, it's okay. But then we get to what happens in the final episode, and this is really going to decide whether you like it or not. The big reveal of who's sort of pulling the strings and everything. And yeah, might as well just go spoiler alerts, but I'm pretty sure most of you know what happens and everything. And well, I can sort of see why they do it, um, and why they're bringing this character into it and everything. I mean, has been waiting for this Marvel character to show up, but might as well say it. God damn it! I wish they didn't include Mephisto. Jeez, I yeah I'm being serious when I say, look, I wanted to see Mephisto show up for a while, and I can see why they wanted to do it here, but just feel like with Doomsday and Secret Wars coming out well, very soon with Doctor Doom, and of course we're getting teased of Galactus and Silver Surfer. Well, they're going to be in Fantastic Four in the coming weeks. Well, yeah. Do they really need to throw him in right now? Couldn't they just wait till Phase 7, get through the multiverse saga, then start teasing Mephisto? I don't know. I just was like, geez, do they need him now? Like, couldn't you just wait? I just don't see the reason why he has to show up now of all places. It's just not the right time in my view. And I don't know, I wasn't impressed that Riri sided with him in the end. Like, I can sort of see where she's coming from, but seriously, at least think about the fact that you're signing with someone who has a power that you don't fully understand, really. I mean, Riri knows technology, she does know magic, so why? And we can sort of see that this is obviously going to lead to some problems down the track, whether it be against the likes of Doctor Strange or Black Panther or um, I guess Spider-Man to a certain extent. Um, whoever else deals with magic and all that. I guess Deadpool is an option, something of and everything. It's just you didn't need him in it, and yeah. I should also mention Sacha Baron Cohen wasn't really my ideal choice to play Mephisto. I mean, you can tell he's having a good time, but I don't know. I wasn't really thinking he'd be the ideal choice. But maybe I just need to see more of him in the role and everything. I don't know. It just, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so in the end, if I have to be honest, I think the show is very, very mixed. Like, I give it a 6 out of 10. I'm not bombing as hard as a lot of others, but yeah, I didn't really think it was good. Um, but what do you think of it? And be honest with me, just at least tell me you're not review bombing it like a lot of other people are. So just at least say it honestly, whether you liked it or not, what you thought of the Mephisto reveal, and yeah, if you really thought it was a good idea of the resolution and everything. Yeah, this is a very split show, and looking on Phase 5 of the MCU, this is clearly the most inconsistent. I mean, Phase 4 was as well, but at the very least, a few horrible stuff. It was only about two I'd really say that were absolutely terrible. Well, really one, two, or something like that. Most of it was even mixed, but really good, really strong, and then really some eh. Phase 5, it's been inconsistent the whole way through. So we can only wait and see what Phase 6 does. Fantastic Four comes out in 2 weeks, and we'll see if that's the launch pad. If it at least starts Phase 6 strong and ends the multiverse saga on a decent note. Yeah. So I guess you'll just have to wait for me to review that in, I don't know, 2, 3 weeks. But before then, I got to talk about Superman. So tune in for that. In the meantime, House of Press Reviews is out, and I shall see you next time. Ciao.